Welcome to the Bay. All right, today we are jumping into a classic PC builder's dilemma, a real head-to-head battle between two of NVIDIA's 40 series titans, the RTX 4070 and the RTX 4080. We're going to figure out which one of these GPUs should be the real centerpiece of your next gaming rig.
So, you're ready to pull the trigger on a new build, but which way do you go? Are you trying to build the ultimate 1440p champion, a machine that just crushes that resolution? Or are you aiming for the absolute undisputed king of 4K? You know, this one decision basically defines your entire build, so let's just get the verdict out of the way right now.
Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, here's the quick and dirty breakdown. If your goal is a super efficient rig that just absolutely dominates 1440p gaming, the RTX 4070 is your card. End of story. But if you're chasing that no-compromise 4K performance and you want some serious headroom for the future, well, that's when you start looking at the RTX 4080.
Okay, let's get to the fun part, the head-to-head battle. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to see how these two cards actually perform in some of the most demanding games you can find, where, every single frame matters.
First up, we've got a monster of a game, Cyberpunk 2077, with ray tracing cranked up. Now at 1440p, both cards are doing great, right? But that jump from 70 FPS on the 4070 to over 90 on the 4080, that's huge. That's the difference between smooth and buttery smooth, especially when things get crazy. And it just shows you the kind of power the 4080 is holding in reserve. Now let's switch over to a competitive shooter, like Warzone, where frames can literally win you the game. The 4070 is pushing a fantastic 160 FPS, perfect for a 144Hz monitor. But the 4080 hitting a clean 200 FPS? Come on. That lets you really max out one of those wicked fast 240Hz displays and get a serious competitive edge.
And here it is. This is the key takeaway from all the performance numbers. As soon as you make that leap to 4K, the debate is pretty much over. The RTX 4080 just pulls away with a 30 to 40% lead. That's not a small difference. That is the difference between playing on high and being able to just crank every single setting to max for the best possible visuals.
But look, performance is only one piece of the puzzle. A GPU has to actually fit in your case and, your budget. So now we're going to look at the practical side of things, the specs that really impact your build and your wallet.
What's really cool about these numbers is the story they tell. Yeah, the 4080's extra 4 gigs of VRAM give it more runway for future games and those crazy texture mods. But check out that power draw. 320 watts for the 4080 versus just 200 for the 4070. That single number changes your PSU choice, your cooling setup, and even your electricity bill.
And this just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? The 4070 is a pretty compact card. It's going to fit in tons of different cases, even some smaller ones. The 4080, on the other hand, is an absolute monster. You have to plan your entire build around this card. You need a big case, you need good airflow. It's a commitment. Okay, let's talk value. The one metric that cuts through all the marketing hype is frames per dollar. For the RTX 4070, this means that for every dollar you spend, at its roughly $599 price point, you get back 0.24 frames per second at 1440p. This is how you measure bang for your buck. And for most people building a high-end rig, this is the smart play. And here's the other side of that coin. The 4080's number is, well, obviously lower. At almost twice the price, you're getting 0.15 frames for every dollar. So you see, you're not buying the 4080 for its value proposition. You're buying it for pure, unfiltered, top-of-the-line performance. It's an enthusiast product, and it's got an enthusiast price tag to match.
All right, we've gone through the benchmarks, we've looked at the specs. Now let's bring it all back to you. Which of these GPUs is the right anchor for your rig? We've broken it down into a few common builder types to help you figure it out.
First up, are you all about 1440p? You've got a high refresh monitor, and you want to feed it frames without taking out a second mortgage or upgrading your entire power supply? The answer is simple. The RTX 4070 was practically made for you. It is the perfect sweet spot. What if you're someone who loves a clean, quiet, maybe even a small form factor build? Well, the 4070's smaller size and much lower power draw make it the no-brainer choice. It just gives you so much more flexibility with your case and keeps everything running cooler and quieter.
But maybe that's not you. Maybe your goal is just pure, unadulterated 4K domination. You've got the monitor, you want to max everything out, especially ray tracing, and you don't mind paying for it. For you, the enthusiast, it's gotta be the RTX 4080. It delivers that premium experience you're looking for.
And finally, for the builder who's thinking about the long game. If you want a card that's not just going to handle today's games, but will still be a beast 2, 3 years from now, or maybe you do some creative work on the side, that extra investment in the RTX 4080 is going to give you some serious peace of mind.
So we've covered the big stuff, but there is always more data to dig into. For the absolute latest pricing, which, changes all the time, and for an even deeper dive into more games, you should definitely check out the full analysis from our source for this breakdown, bestgpusforgaming.com.
So there you have it. It really all boils down to your philosophy. Is your next build all about that 4K dominance, ready for anything the future can throw at it? Or is the smarter play to master the world of 1440p with incredible efficiency and value? The right choice is all yours. Keep it cool and keep building.